people of your vintage, and you might have only had superannuation for a very small percentage of your working life. It started out at 2% when it came in the 90s, tiny. We're only up to 9.5% now, and all the studies said we needed at least 12% over the entire working life of someone to be able to fund them in retirement. And those assumptions are from the 80s, when you used to earn 15% interest on your money and people were dying in their mid-80s. So good chance you actually need a hell of a lot more now if you were actually going to get to financial independence through superannuation. But it's going to come out anyway. Keep that in mind. So the government takes its first chunk, sets it aside, quarantines it and says, okay, no more. So you're left with this next bit, and that's when you then get taxed. That's when income tax comes in. Now, a lot of people worry about income tax. Tax is unavoidable. You have to pay it. And a lot of people would argue that it's actually not a bad thing, because it's basically funding some of the things you use. You're funding hospitals, you're funding schools, you're funding your roads. That should be a good thing. Now, I'm not saying that every government makes fantastic decisions and that all of our money gets used really well. That's simply not true. But at least some of the money that goes through that tax system is funding the lifestyle that we have in Australia. Your job's not to avoid tax, it's to legally minimise your tax. So you might be paying more tax than you have to, so you want to get some advice to pay less tax if you're worried about that, but don't try to avoid it altogether. Down that road lies fines, bankruptcy, misery. Okay, so don't focus on eliminating it, focus on reducing it as far as you can legally. Still, tax comes out. You're left with a much smaller chunk. So this is your gross pay, this is your net pay that you get in your hand, or in your paycheck or in your bank account. Once you've got that money, it goes off to spending. That's when you buy the things that you need to survive. You buy the house, so it might be rent, might be a mortgage, you buy some food, you buy the petrol in the car, you buy whatever transport you need some clothes. It's also where you start buying some of your fun stuff. So if you like fashion, you might buy your fashion things with some of that money. You might buy nice holidays. But that spending comes out of your after-tax dollars. This is something that we can control, but it's not the thing that's going to get us to financial independence. This is the bit that gets you to financial independence, the bit that's left over, what you save. The difference between what you spend and what you save is how quickly you can get there. So it's not enough just to make more income if you end up spending it. You have to make sure that you keep that extra income. It's not what you make, it's what you keep that matters with financial independence. So that's very important to keep in mind. If you can make more money by all means, but try and keep your costs the same so that that extra money flows through to that savings channel, and that means you will get to financial independence quicker. Does that make sense?